Hey everybody, Jeremy here from Nobot Studios. I am back again with another Grit Fantasy RPG video. Today, I'll be talking about building a Barbarian. I am making this video in response to the Get Barbaric Challenge put out by Peter from Tales from Elsewhere Games and Zarek from Odin's Key Gaming. They put this challenge out there to the community so that we can all get together and create Barbarian characters for various systems. I thought this was a great idea, so I am taking part. So big shout out to Peter and Zarek for putting this challenge together, and for everyone else who is going to be taking part in the challenge. I certainly look forward to seeing what everybody else comes up with. So for those who don't know, I created Grit Fantasy RPG and released it last year on DriveThruRPG. It is also available on itch.io. I'm not going to go into a lot of details about the game because I have limited time here in this video, but it is a rules light system set up for quick characters, fast gameplay, and ease of use for the GM. My philosophy is a happy GM means happy players. So there's just a ton of stuff for the GM in the book to be helpful for prepping and running the game. So I'm going to talk about the actual characters now. I actually have made two Barbarian types. One is just a standard build that you would follow, in the rules in the book. The other one is a more enhanced character, and that is basically representing either a character that has been playing 3 or 4 sessions, or one that a GM has decided to boost up, their choices in the beginning, which is an option. It is not written in the book, but you can always do this as a GM and make them a little stronger to start. So the first one I'm going to get into is going to be the standard Barbarian, Grunk the Destroyer. And he is a giant. So there are 12 lineages to choose from in Grit Fantasy RPG. The giant I felt was the best choice. Second best choice would probably be human. And there are a couple others that probably would work too. But I thought the giant was the best. And the reason for that is the ability just seems to fit like this Conan type of, huge muscular dude with a giant weapon kind of thing. I'm not following the trope of what Dungeons and Dragons has done for Barbarian. I'm just going by the Conan kind of thing, right? Just like this huge berserker type guy. Okay, so each lineage has an ability that's unique to them. So the giant ability is brute strength. And what this does is allows you to, when you're making a might roll, which is basically your strength, you can use any number of focus dice to boost that roll. So in the game, you are given a D4, D6, and a D8 at the start of the session. And these you can use to boost your primary die rolls. Okay, once you use them, they're gone. But the giant can use all 3 in one for one roll. So you roll a D12, which is the primary die, and then you could choose to use D4, D6, and D8 in one fell swoop. So I thought this represented a berserker kind of, barbarian type character pretty well. So the next part of this is the stats. So they're called aspects. You get 5 of those. You have might, prowess, valor, insight, and command. Those are all on the left-hand side in the circles. I went with the standard array in the book for the quick build option. So in the game, you can build characters as a quick build, which means you basically randomize multiple steps in the process. So it's super fast. You can make a character in 5 minutes. So I went with might plus 3. That is the maximum you can have for an aspect. Prowess is 0, which means you just roll a standard D12. Valor is plus 1. That's your resistance, constitution, and courage. And then insight is minus 2 because he's not the sharpest tool in the shed, but he can swing, a weapon pretty good. So -2 insight, 0 for command. Command is like your charisma or your social ability, right? Okay, so those are the aspects. Soak is 0. Soak basically just reduces damage that you take in combat. Grit is your health. So every character gets 10 grit. So you have on the left, in the left box is your current. On your right box in the red is your kind of maximum. It never goes beyond 10 in grit. So that's that. And then everything else is just gear. So you build the flavor of a grit character by the gear that they have. Okay. So a standard build, you get one unique item out of 20, and you get 4 basic items. And those are 2 D20 lists that you can choose stuff from. So I chose the Dread Hammer, which is a melee weapon. It's an indestructible, and basically on high rolls, it stuns the target. Okay. That could be very deadly with a follow-up attack. Okay, and then this also deals double damage to structures. So double damage to doors, anything that's just structural, right? So that's awesome. For the basic items, I gave him a hand axe, which gives him the ability to throw a weapon. Climbing kit, because don't barbarians climb walls and get into the forts and destroy everybody? So they've got that. They've got a couple torches, which are versatile and useful. And then you have Moonberry Juice, which just heals D4 grit. So that is a basic character. That is the standard 6-step build for Grit Fantasy RPG. Now the second one, which is the more enhanced version, I went through a little different process in the gear selection, but everything else is the same. Okay, so name, lineage, ability, aspects are all the same. And so what I went with this is the unique item is what's called Armlets of Fury. So your brawling attacks deal full melee damage. In the rules of the game, brawling attacks like kicking, punching, that kind of stuff, they only deal half damage rounded up. So basically you can punch like it was a sword or an axe or a mace or hammer. Okay. When you're rolling high on this, you knock them back a short distance. So not only is it, full damage, but you also they go flying short distance away. Second one, Belt of Badassness. Now this is an artifact, and there are a ton of artifacts in the game. Okay, so the loot tables are huge. There's 20 D20 tables. By wearing this gigantic, highly polished belt, you may sacrifice a focus die, one of your D4, D6, or D8 dice, to negate one incoming attack. So if you're attacked, you could just sacrifice a focus die and nothing happened. Okay, that's awesome. That gets around the no armor kind of thing. In addition to this, you grow a thick, permanent mullet. Is that not fitting? Okay, next one, Battle-Forged Axe. This is a melee weapon. So whenever you use focus dice, when using this weapon, you gain +1. Okay, so D4 +1, D6 +1, D8 +1, right? Basic items, you get torches, a couple of those, Moonberry Juice like before, and then I gave them one consumable item, which is the Rage Potion. All right, it's a single-use item, free action to chug it down, and then you take 2 unsoakable damage, but you double a might roll on your turn. So you get that D12 die, that's doubled, plus your aspect value. And then you get your brute strength ability on top of that if you wanted to load up. So the outcome for damage for this could be pretty substantial. So that is the enhanced Barbarian. And that's really all I have to, show for Grit Fantasy RPG Barbarian. I think Barbarian's a little more simple than some other types could be. So I'd be interested to see, what I can come up with for other types. So this gives me some ideas for future videos. But that is the Barbarian for Grit Fantasy RPG. And I just want to say another shout out for Peter and Zarek for this challenge. I appreciate that you reached out and gave me the invitation. And I think it's going to be fun. And just want to say, hey, everybody, thanks for giving this a listen. And I appreciate you following along. And, as always, keep rolling those dice.